Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Boy District. Today we are joined by KnotCT. And
Hey, what up? It is me, not CT.
so, what's been going on in your life? What have you been up to?
Oh, literally nothing. It's been years and years and years since we recorded something like this. I don't even think we've really recorded any gameplay. You've kind of been forging that path your own. I have stepped away from the microphone for a while. I have COVID today, so that's fun. So that's why I sound like an elephant.
That's always some good news, you know. It's
Oh.
always fun to just learn that you're sick with a brand new Chinese disease.
Hey,
The
man, it's cheap. It's Chinese made.
the Chinese disease. That's gonna be like the name of a COVID movie that comes out someday.
Yes.
Like some historical fiction. It's gonna be really boring too, because like let's face it, the COVID pandemic is super fucking boring. Like
Oh yeah, it
compared
was
to
just people
like
dying and people complaining about not getting haircuts, and it was sucky
yeah,
all around.
it's like the Spanish flu was a lot more badass in terms of like killing the shit out of people. And then there was polio.
Well,
Polio was like the most evil disease of all time because it like exclusively targeted children.
I remember when we were talking and when we were messaging back and forth earlier, we both agreed, like, yeah, people are probably pretty sick of the heavy stuff, so let's stick to a light topic. And within the first 5 minutes, we're like, yeah,
Polio.
COVID, Spanish flu, polio. Think about all
Kids
those
dying.
casualties. Oh man, yeah, we're just kind of letting things flow a little bit. I do have a list of topics in front of me. I believe you do as well, Brash.
Yeah, most of
Do
them
you
are
want
pretty
to?
stupid and inconsequential, but yeah, I could start us off if you want.
Yeah, yeah. Give me a softball. Throw me a nice little T-ball so I can knock it out of the park here. Like, what should we get started on?
All right, so I mean, you're no stranger to this, but I've been watching a lot of Dhar Man lately.
Yeah.
Lots of Dhar Man, and I
Dude, did you
fucking
regret it instantly?
I I love Dhar Man videos because they're just like I mean they're the most predictable things ever, and they're just I love how everything in a Dhar Man video is just so black and white. Like there's always a good guy and a bad guy,
It's
and this there's never any like outside thinking and people are just so reflective and they're like, oh, you know what? I'm a totally different person than I was 2 minutes ago. I'm so sorry that I was racist. I'm sorry that I'm sorry that I threw stuff at you because you're homeless.
I
Now I
instantly
know that
regretted that decision, and
now
now
I
I
know that,
know.
yeah, it's like the thing about Dharma videos, they're so addicting. They're
Mhm.
so addicting. Like,
Mhm.
even though you know just from reading the title what's going to happen in every video, you just can't help it. You're like, all right, here I go again. It's the
Here,
ultimate guilty
oh boy,
pleasure.
here I go Darmaning again. Yeah, I love Darman mostly
He's
for
a
the
fucking
same reasons
vampire,
that you
too.
said. Yeah, yeah, I love him for the same reasons that you listed. I also just like how the actors in the video are obviously very into their roles. Like, they obviously want to be actors, and Darman is like, putting them in front of the camera and they're excited. And I don't mean to put them down or demean them because I'm sure that they're working hard to improve their craft and everything, but they're not the best actors. Is the best way the most diplomatic roundabout way I can say it.
And then, like,
I
the
I
weird
really
thing is,
enjoy the deliveries.
yeah, some of them are decent. And that's when it gets weird, because it's like, what are you
Hmm.
doing here? Like, you could find better work. You got some chops. But instead, you got Darman's vampire chops, and like I don't know, like that one little girl who always plays like the fucking orphan, who's always like, "Ooh, little girl finds out she's adopted and she regrets it," or whatever the fuck the video's called. Like she's pretty good. And then that one lady with like the different colored eyes who always plays a bitch, even though she looks really nice. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, the funny thing about that though is the dialogue is so bad that even when the actor is decent,
Oh
it still
yeah,
sounds like it was written by an AI almost. Like it almost sounds like it was written by like an AI jumbler that spit it out after watching a whole bunch of soap opera in The Room. And that's another comparison I wanted to make, is it's a lot like a modern version of The Room, except for a big movie production set up by like a seemingly rich foreign guy who obviously just wants to get his message out there. It's like a whole bunch of tiny little YouTube videos. And I think it's so funny how at the end of the video, Dhar Man sits and looks at the camera and explains verbatim, spells it out for the audience what the theme was. I think that's the most self-indulgent and funny fucking thing I've ever seen on YouTube.
Dhar Man fam, I hope you loved this video about not fat shaming the fat people around you. And it's just like, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of people just openly doing that. But
oh man,
thanks, Dhar Man. Thanks for
where's Dhar Man from?
I think he's got to be from India. But
are we being racist as a Dhar Man?
There's some sketchy shit going on with him. Like,
where from?
I don't know a whole lot about like his lore, but I do know that he apparently got in trouble for tax evasion at one point. And
dude, we're a couple of assholes. He was born in the United States, by the way.
Oh, hey, what's his like heritage though?
His name is Dharminder Man. He was born May 29th, 1984. Let's dive down the Dhar Man biography.
Is he just like a fucking? Is he like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, where he's just like a straight up American white guy who got like a skin augmentation?
His parents are from India.
I don't mean to sound racist as shit, but he is like really good looking for an Indian guy. I mean,
dude, he's handsome. He's got that nice ass smile. He's a really good looking dude.
But he does look like a
But
vampire.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't add the qualifier for an Indian guy.
That or he has like jaw implants, because his shit is not. I don't know. I've seen him in the sun though.
Moving on. I do enjoy.
He's one of them new fangled sun vampires.
I don't know why, but the continual calling him a vampire is very funny to me.
Because he fucking looks like
He's got the daggers on the front of his fucking teeth.
Literally.
Okay, but anyway, he was born in Oakland, California. Yeah, and his family are real estate people, so yeah, that's where he gets his money from to make videos. He is
so a fucking drug dealer. There's no fucking way he's not like a drug lord. I swear, Dhar Man is a criminal, and his videos are part of some crazy YouTube money laundering scheme. That's like the only explanation. Who the fuck else is like that rich and just wants to make those kinds of videos?
I don't know, maybe he's got to get his message out there, man. Maybe he's just like, I don't know. I don't see, because I bet you he makes a ton of money from the content because it's super safe, so there's no way it's going to get, like, knocked down by YouTube for being unfriendly to kids, and as far as I know, he produces it all himself, so he's not going to get copyright stricken for it or anything, so it's really safe, risk-free content to upload, and he probably makes a pretty decent buck off of it. Because, let's see, let me just go to Dhar Man's YouTube channel real quick. Let's see how much like an average Dhar Man video gets viewed.
How crazy would it be if we found out that Dhar Man is just like old Germanic for Dracula or something?
It's definitely it's Dharminder Man, and it's definitely an Indian name. Damn, he has 14 million subscribers.
I'm pretty sure I'm one of them.
Wow. So his most recent video was released less than 24 hours ago. Already has 5.2 million views. So that means, yeah, he's making millions off these videos, dude. Like, a ton of money. Like, that's a lot of money. His most viewed video has 70 million, it looks like. Yeah, he makes a ton of money off it. And like I said, it's really safe, risk-free content. So he's never going to get, like, taken down by YouTube for, uploading music or something, or uploading shit that's not good for kids. So, I mean, that's a really smart business strategy, actually. He's pretty much the way I see it, he's pretty much like leveraging the YouTube app for money. He's like doing exactly the kind of content YouTube apparently wants, and you know, making pretty good money off it. And people can knock him for the videos being stupid, which I mean, of course they fucking are. But I mean, at least he's putting good messages out there, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's not like you know, outwardly a piece of shit. Who knows? Maybe he's secretly something crazy. You never know. Especially these days, it seems like every person's just secretly a pedophile, and it's just like, oh, you really can't trust anyone. You just can't.
Nope. Well, guy uses plus-size girl for cash. He lives to regret it. Does that like implies that she kills him?
Yeah, almost. He lives to regret it. I for once want one of his videos to be like, they don't quite live to regret it. Karma catches up to them first. Yeah. Like the last
Nepotism
line of
occurs
one,
in office.
The last line of
Boss
that one
almost
book,
lives to regret it.
where he's just like, Johnny smiled. He never saw the bullet that killed him or whatever. That'd be just Dhar Man gone dark. Dude,
I think, are you talking about Of Mice and Men?
Yeah, it was something like that. I've noticed lately that Dhar Man videos are getting like darker though, and like heavier. It seems like he's just like getting into like some J.K. Rowling territory where he's like, I need to make my material
I need to grow
darker.
with my audience.
My audience is growing up.
I need to grow with my audience.
I really want a Dhar Man video to have a bad ending. I mean, maybe there is one and I just haven't seen it, but if anyone out there knows of a Dhar Man video with a sad ending, I would like to see it. Now, I'm not talking bittersweet with like a happy part. I want like a full-blown fuck up. Like, just like a sad ending for everyone in the whole video. And then Dhar Man comes in at the end. He's like, hello, Dhar Man fam. I was in a pretty bad mood when I made this one, if you couldn't tell.
Hello, Dhar Man fam. She finally left.
We've been talking about Dhar Man for like 12 minutes. Holy
yeah,
shit.
I got 13 minutes. Fucking, I do also enjoy his channel because it's very shameless.
Yeah.
It's not, like, he doesn't give a shit. Like, you gotta know when you're making stuff like that. Like, he's making shit that's, like, one step away from church content. Like, it's like, don't steal or you'll live to regret it. Don't, literally, like, 90% of his videos have the theme, don't judge a book by its cover.
Could you imagine, like, if Dhar Man was Persian? Because, like, you know, Persian guys have all those, like, weird, like, they have all that jewelry and all that gold shit, but they also have all those, like, weird phrases and, like things to live by, like, oh, you don't eat bread before 12 or you'll have a fat wife. Like,
no, I don't.
That'd be a nice alternate take on the Dhar Man cinematic universe. He did make a movie, too, and what I love about the movie he made is that it just has the same he didn't even give it a title. It just has the same generic video title as the rest of his videos, but it's literally an hour-and-a-half long fucking movie. And it's shot like a movie and everything, but it's basically just like an hour-and-a-half long Dhar Man video. It's fucking hilarious.
Damn, that would that would almost be painful though.
Yeah.
Does it measure up to like the likes of indie filmmaker Neil Breen?
Oh shit, I love Neil Breen.
Like,
I hope he keeps making movies, because every movie he makes is better than the last one.
Neil Breen is the type of fucking white dude that looks like he's like melting. Like,
yeah.
He literally looks like a vanilla ice cream cone that's like like melting away before our very eyes. Oh, fuck. I feel like we might have run the Dhar Man well dry, Cody. Do you mind if I kind of do a really smooth segue here into the next topic?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright. Fucking, the thing I wanted to talk about is... Fuck, where'd it go? Oh, everybody this year was saying that this year was a slow year for video game release. What's your take on that?
I'm trying to think. First of all, 2021 went by insanely quick for me. So as far as I'm concerned, it's like still 2020. It's like,
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. I can't believe it's over in like 4 days.
but I'm trying to think of like any new games that I played this year. I
You
just,
did mostly just kind of go down the nostalgia hole this year.
yeah, I really did. And plus, we played Halo,
Yeah, we did play a lot of Halo. Oh, I
and
mean, Halo Infinite came out this year.
yeah, I haven't played that. I'm
Oh
sure I
yeah,
will at
I don't
some
have
point.
a Xbox. Yeah, I've been thinking about buying an Xbox just so we could play that because it feels like we should play that.
I've heard that it's good and it's pretty much getting all of the reviews that I kind of expected, where people are like, yeah, it's not amazing, but it's a good step in the right direction given, Halo 4 and 5. So yeah, that's good to hear. Apparently it's 343 finally made a good Halo game, so that's nice. Cuz I
Yeah, I
would
was
like
actually not expecting that. I was expecting everybody to bomb it again. I was expecting 343 to shit themselves in the bed again. I really was not expecting them to do a good job.
This is like I was one of those people. I didn't even like Halo 4. Like honestly, like a lot of people liked Halo 4, but I just didn't. I just thought that all the 343 Halo games were kind of bad.
Yeah, I liked Halo 4's continuation of the story. They actually handled the story in that game really well in my opinion, and a lot of the cinematics were just like cum-inducingly badass, like just so fucking cool.
Yeah,
But the gameplay was a little non-innovative and even regressive in some areas.
I've heard
Um,
Halo Infinite's kind of disappointing as far as the cutscenes go. Like I've heard that there's like none in Halo Infinite.
Maybe they tried to naturally integrate it into the game, which I can see, you know.
Yeah, I think
But
they
a lot of
they
games do.
just kind of put more of the budget into the cutscenes and shit, maybe. Or
Yeah,
not the cutscenes, the
the
gameplay. What
game,
the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I
Is
don't
the
know, the way
cutscenes
games
from
are
the
moving now, it's like cutscenes are like a thing of the past, man. Like the last game I played that was like new that had constant cutscenes was probably Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the game. There's some games that are just like pretty much cutscenes the whole time, or
Mhm.
just big interactive cutscenes, like a David
Telltale
Cage
game,
game.
yeah, or David Cage. Fucking, I can't really think of any new games I played this year. I just took a huge step back from games this year, if I'm being honest. I didn't really buy any new ones. I just kind of played Rocket League and For Honor and Minecraft. And those are games I played in 2020 as well. So I didn't really dip my toe. And obviously I played Halo with you, but yeah, I didn't this was probably like the lowest, like if you had a graph of the spending that I do on video games, it's probably at its lowest point in like 10 years this year.
Yeah, at least with me in new games, like I can't think off the top of my head of like a single like brand new game I even played this year. I mostly just kind of played some older stuff.
We should do a Monster Hunter World Iceborne Let's Play.
That would be cool. Yeah, I heard that was
Yeah.
like really good.
Yeah,
I've
it is really
never,
good.
I haven't played
We could
Monster
even
Hunter
just
World
do
in a
a full
while.
play through the campaign to get to Ice World as well, so we just pump out content on it.
Yeah,
That'd be cool as fuck. I was high as fuck when I wrote this content or this topic suggestion list, and I wrote it down twice, once in normal lettering and once in italics. Cody, friend or
oh yeah, I
foe?
saw that. I was trying to think of responses. I was like, huh. It's tricky.
I was literally like, I had downed like half a bottle of NyQuil. Like, I was done. I was so sick this morning. And I wrote this, and I do remember now that I'm looking at it, just giggling while I wrote it. Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Man, I love Keanu Reeves, but like, we all need to be real. He's a bad actor.
Yeah, what was the name? Was it Baywatch or something? The name of the movie where he's a surfer
Oh,
and
that
he
was
has to catch that
Point
dude.
Break. Point
Yeah,
Break's a
Point Break.
great movie too. His bad acting actually adds some charm to that movie, I think. But oh my, have you ever seen like the fucking Dracula movie that came out in like the I can't remember who made it. It was like a it had Winona Ryder in it and Gary Oldman and
Mm.
Keanu Reeves. And it had like an all-star cast of just like really crazy good actors, and then Keanu Reeves was just randomly in it, and he was so bad in that movie, so
Fuck,
bad.
what's the name of it?
It was just yeah, it was just Dracula, and I can't remember like it came out in the 90s.
1992.
Yeah, I think it might just be Bram
1992,
Stoker's
Bram
Dracula.
Stoker's Dracula.
It had
Yep,
a
it's a horror romance.
it had a famous director. It had a really famous cast. I can't remember dick about any of it. But Keanu Reeves, like, single-handedly tried to, like, ruin that movie, I swear. And I swear, I love Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is, like, my favorite famous person of all time. But facts are just facts, alright? That's just
I
the way it
feel like
is.
this is kind of a weird. This is probably a pretty broad generalization, but also probably a pretty harmless one. I feel like talented people tend to be more narcissistic just because they're aware of the fact that they have something that's valuable and
Oh,
they're
of
innately
course,
good
yeah.
at, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
Like,
a...
I wouldn't consider myself like a very naturally talented person at anything except for maybe like reading and writing, which like big whoop. Like, I feel like if I was talented at something that was like super valuable, like that could get me paid a bunch of money, I'd probably be kind of a dick.
Yeah, it would depend. It would, I don't really know because I'm not that person, but I could easily see it. I'm not a people person, so I would definitely hate like paparazzis. Like whenever you see like stories about like Daniel Radcliffe like flipping off paparazzis or like running away from them and shit, I'd be like, yeah, that would probably definitely be me.
Fucking, I don't know if you've seen it. If you want, I can send it to you really quick. But it's there's a video of Andrew Garfey, Mister Spider-Man numero dos. He's fucking trying to go across the street from a bar to get into Emma Stone's car, and there's literally like an army of paparazzi, and it's like dark out, and he's being flashed with like 1,000 different cameras, so he obviously can't see, and he almost gets like hit by a car like twice, and he's like being totally cool around these paparazzi, just ignoring them, and he goes across the street. And then Emma Stone's not in her car yet, so he pulls out his phone and waits. And the paparazzi are like mocking him as he gets mad. He's like sitting there looking at scrolling at his phone, and they're like, "What's the matter, Andrew? You know, it's like, is it so hard being rich and famous?" And he's just like, smirk, like trying not to like smirk and get mad at them. Finally, he gets into Emma Stone's car. They're flashing so many lights that she can't even pull away. And so it's like, could you imagine that? That'd be like the worst. I would go crazy
Oh yeah.
if I was rich like Spider-Man numero dos over there. I would for sure have like 5 dudes on my payroll, 6'5" and above, and their only job would be to get people like that as far away from me as possible.
I would like just have like a fucking master apple thrower guy,
Hmm.
just with a Santa's sack of apples, just throw at people who bother me. And just be like, hey man, but you can't ruin my image, so you gotta pretend like we don't know each other. And I'd get him all these different disguises to wear every day, but he'd always
That's
just be the apples guy. And he'd be good at it too. You got like a fucking machine gun wrist. That's how
that's
I
a
would
very
handle it.
that's a very you way of handling that, Cody. Like, oh no, hire a security detail. No, I'm gonna pay some dude to throw fucking apples. That's pretty funny. Fuck. Well,
So
just to bring it back around to Keanu Reeves, though, he does add a certain amount of charm in every amount of movie he's in, and I feel like that's almost just as valuable as like
oh
being a
yeah,
good
he's
actor.
great in John Wick, but that's
Hmm.
because that role doesn't really like demand anything like super
Super
duper
strenuous.
actory of him. Like
Yeah.
physically, I think the role is pretty demanding. Like he's got to do a lot of shit, like action wise. But in terms of like personality and stuff, he doesn't really got to do much. He's just got to be John Wick. John Wick's just quiet, badass, cool guy. All you got to do for that is is be somewhat in shape and look cool. Like,
Mm. Yeah. And I feel like that almost matters more in Hollywood nowadays anyway. Like most movies are just about buff, beautiful people nowadays. Like especially after the whole Marvel thing. Now every movie is about buff, beautiful people. I remember there was a trend in like the early 2010s, late 2000s when it was like, ooh, we'll cast like normal looking dudes in this movie and it'll appeal to people. And I remember thinking that I can't think of any specific examples. I might just be talking out of my ass. But now I feel like ever since like the whole age of Marvel, now it's back to like the dime bag group of people at the top that just won the genetic lottery, and now they get to star in movies. You know what I mean? And it just so happens that some of them are really good actors, like
oh
Robert
yeah,
Downey Jr. and stuff.
dude, Pierce Brosnan looks so fucking weird with long hair. Like I saw him in a movie poster earlier today, and he had long hair. I don't even remember what the name
What
of the
movie
movie
is
was.
Pierce Brosnan in? Let me see. Pierce
He played
Brosnan.
he played James Bond for a while.
Yeah, he did.
He's a lot
Yeah,
of people think he was the best Bond, but
yeah
I still think Sean
he.
Connery was the best Bond. Sean Connery was just too fucking cool. He just was.
Pierce Brosnan, newest movie. He
It's
is a
some like
handsome Irishman. Black
it's
Adam and The King's Daughter were the
yeah,
two
The King's
movies he
Daughter,
was
I
in.
think is what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, he looks weird as shit with long hair. Don't get me
Mm.
wrong, he's still pretty, but like he just looks cooler with short hair. He just does. Long hair just makes him look like super duper like I don't even know how to describe it. He looks like one of those weird like medieval shoes that looks like a little bag that's like tied off at the end.
Mhm. Let me see if I can find a picture. Oh yeah, yeah. That that was a surprisingly succinct way of describing that. Good job.
I don't like the long hair Pierce Brosnan. He just doesn't look cool that way.
Mm. Especially
He's
not
fucking
that it's
aging really
brown.
well though. Like that dude
Yeah.
looks good for how fucking old he is.
Oh yeah. By the time I'm 40, I'm gonna look worse than that dude looks at like 60.
Seriously. What about movie adaptation video games?
Video game movie adaptations, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about in particular in relation to those?
Well, most of them, I guess what put this like on my mind was watching Mind Pulp, which I guess for those of you who don't know, Mind Pulp is a channel on YouTube where they pretty much just play like old shitty games for the most part, and most of those are, I would say, a decent amount of those games are movie adaptations. And I've been watching a lot of those, and it brought me back to my childhood because when I was a kid, I used to play a lot of like really, really shitty movie adaptation games, or just like movie based games in general. And most of them are terrible. Some of them aren't,
What's
but
your favorite?
that's tough. I would have to think about that. I did make
We'll
a
circle
little
back
like
around
I
to
made
it.
like a memory list so that I knew which ones to like bring up. But yeah, the reason most of them suck so bad is because like they had like really bad time deadlines where they gotta release this shit before the
In
movie comes out
conjunction
or
with a movie, or yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So like they had to work within those limits, and usually it just was a shit fire. But some of these games had like actual like decent effort put into them. Like the one that comes to most people's mind is GoldenEye, I think, because that was like a genuinely good game. That game was like revolutionary in general, but like yeah, that's a good movie based game.
Hmm.
Fucking the Lord of the Rings games were good. Two Towers and Return of the King, those were really good.
Did you ever play War for or Battle for Middle Earth?
I haven't.
That's an RTS, and it's probably my second all-time favorite RTS after Stellaris, just because it's like I don't know, it's just so like in depth and cool for a game especially that old. You can get a 360 copy of it for like $2. You should get one.
Oh yeah. Do you remember the King Kong game?
King Kong? No, I do
The
not.
Peter Jackson King Kong game? That game was good. It was pretty fucking good.
Hmm.
Like a lot of the Peter Jackson movies just had really good video games attached. I don't know if Peter Jackson like saw to that himself, but like the Two Towers and Return of the King games both really good, and the King Kong game was really good from what I can remember.
Let me see if I can find gameplay of it.
Also, there was this random Wolverine
Oh yeah, yeah.
game that was
I
really
did see
good.
this game. Yeah, I remember it did look pretty good.
I
Fucking,
think
I
it was.
never.
It might have been X-Men Origins. X-Men Origins Wolverine. That game was suspiciously good considering the movie sucked some fucking dick. And that might be the rare case where like the video game was actually better than the movie it was based on.
You know, my favorite all-time video game adaptation was probably the Aragon movie adaptation because it was
I
a
never played that.
adaptation of an adaptation, so it was very distilled from the book that I actually really liked. So it sucked in that regard because the world was just different than what I imagined. It was based on the movies, not the books.
Oh yeah.
But the gameplay was memorable. I remember it was a hack and slasher, but I enjoyed it. And I remember I used to pretty much only have that game when I first got my PS2, and I played it for hours
Was it
and
one of those
hours.
like set camera games where you like run around different areas and then the camera like changes and you do
Ah,
shit?
if I remember correctly, it was a free camera game, so it was kind of like the best closest thing I can come up with to compare it to be. Remember the Shadow of Mordor game?
Yeah.
It'd be kind of like that, but less fast paced. Like, yeah, there's different levels, but you can swivel the camera around and shit.
What was another one that was good? There has to be like something I'm missing here. They're not all. Oh yeah, the fucking the Sam Raimi Spider-Man games. Those were all good.
Hmm. I
Spider-Man
do
3
remember
was.
those.
I played the shit out of Spider-Man 3 when I was a kid. I used to like jump into the black suit and just beat the ever living shit out of people forever. That was like the funnest game. I don't think I ever even beat it, but
Hmm.
those were pretty damn good. Plus, Toby Toby Maguire like reprised his role and he voiced Spider-Man, but he does not do a very good job. Not at all.
He was pro. Didn't he have a Now I could just be talking out of my ass here, but didn't he have a like a drinking problem around
I
the
think he
time that he
did.
was doing Spider-Man?
Maybe he's a mean drunk. Maybe that's how the whole Bully Maguire thing started.
Wait, that's not just a stupid thing that you said. There's like actually a thing called Bully Maguire.
Yeah, it's a huge YouTube meme. It's literally just like Toby Maguire like green screened into a bunch of situations where it looks like he's hurting people. Like,
What?
yeah, it's always the title like Bully Maguire terrorizes poor homeless guy or some shit
Wait,
or
hold on. Let me Google this real quick. Bully Maguire. It comes up very quickly. Bully Maguire on
Bully
Family
Maguire
Feud
won't take no for an Ansel. For Ansel, yeah. All right, that
for a
was a
Hansel,
solid
Hansel
sentence.
and Gretel.
Sansel. They call me Sansel. Fuck it, that's good. That's a good name for a character. I'm gonna remember to like use that as like a character that I workshop one day. It's gonna be Sansel the Jew. It's perfect.
Bully Maguire on Family fucking Feud.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty good. Except I don't know. Sometimes the funny is hit or miss. Sometimes it's funny. It's like watching someone fall down the stairs. It's like that kind of hit or miss, you know? Like it depends on how old they are. Like
Yeah.
if they're too young, it's not funny because it's like, whatever. It's a little kid. They're just gonna get up. If it's an old person, it's really not funny because you're like, oh shit, dude. If they hit their head the wrong way, boom, that's it. They're dead. But if it's someone in like that sweet spot age range of like, so let's say like 38 to like 45, then it's funny because then it's like they could get hurt, but they're still young enough. You know, they're probably not gonna die. But it's just it's funny.
Hmm.
There's like nothing fucking funnier than watching someone fall down the stairs, and that's my fucked up rant. It is fucking funny. Especially if they're in the middle of saying something. They're like, hey, I'll just be like, oh!
Yeah, it just depends on how hurt they are. Like, I have a hard time laughing at people if they're, like, genuinely very hurt. But
See,
if it's
that's
just
the
like they
problem.
slip,
This is why Romans. This is why the Romans had gladiators, and it's tricky.
You keep bringing things to a weird place, man. Fuck.
The Romans had gladiators so that they didn't have to laugh at things that happened accidentally. I guess.
Well, we're at the 35-minute mark here, and that's actually a lot further along than I thought we'd be.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to edit this down at all? Do you
Probably not. No. Not unless like something happens where we're like, yeah, I'll take like a shit or a piss or a fucking.
I am going to probably take a quick dabby do.
Yeah, I'll probably do that too.